Hi folks, let's do problem 8 in module 3. We'll find that it's relatively similar to our problem 7. Problem 8 is a situation where we're going to do a hypothesis test. We're looking at two locations, location 1 and 2. These numbers 0 and 1 indicate whether or not there was an outage on a particular day. There are 29 days that are recorded. 1 indicates an outage, 0 no outage, and we're looking at the proportions of these two locations to see if there's a difference between the two. Here's one proportion, here's the other, location 1, location 2. So let's do this two sample test of proportions and see if there's a significant difference. Our alpha is going to be 0.05, and we determine, let's look at the results first. Here are the answers. We find that there's no significant difference, so we don't reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative. And the way we got that is, first of all, we did a two-sample t-test of unequal variances. Notice I use unequal because I don't know if the variances of these two distributions might be the same. They look fairly similar. They could be, or essentially the same, but I'm not going to assume that. So I use the unequal variances test in the data analysis package. Here's the unequal, here's the equal in the test. So I can pick this one here. And what I get from the analysis is that our p-value, remember we're going to compare p to alpha, our p-value for a one-tailed test is 0.05947, which is in fact greater than our alpha value. So if p-value is greater than alpha value, I cannot reject under this test. Now in Minitab, there is a two proportion test that you can use. That two proportion test, though, assumes normality. Here I did not assume normality. Here we do assume normality. We're not going to find a great deal of difference, but there is a bit of a difference here, and that's why I do it in Minitab. The results here for a one-tailed test, notice this is a test differences versus location 1 being less than location 2, because that's what in fact we got. Location 1 had a sample value of 0.379 and location 2 0.586. So this is a one-tailed test. I find a p-value of 0.054, compare that to alpha 0.05. It's still larger than alpha, so I can't reject the null hypothesis. I can also use in Minitab a regular two-sample t-test. It doesn't care whether it's a proportion or any other metric that you're looking at. This test recognized that it was a proportion and assumed normality. This one doesn't. And notice what I get is 0.06, and our p-value here for a one-tailed test, and that's very similar to what I got here. With rounding, it's 0.06. So again, I cannot reject the null hypothesis. So there's another test of hypothesis. At this point, we should be experts in this area. That's the end of problem 8, module 3.